that our presence on social media should be used for that. I have been taking a lot of pictures of my bump and sending it to friends and family, and it's been really cute and exciting, and I'm trying to document it well because I've heard a lot of people say, obviously, make sure you don't miss it, and I will be sharing stuff like that in the future. Like, I just am not rushed to do it, and I feel like right now I just want to experience it, and I write in my journal a lot, and I just don't want to like worry about waking up every day during my pregnancy and like worry about having to like look cute or post something, and like, you know, so a lot of your questions are about that, and I just wanted to do that. But this is what I was talking about last time I did a live. From the front, okay, so like pregnancy, all I want to wear is like loose stuff. This is not sponsored. The Holiday, the brand, sent me these, I don't even know what it's made of, like some linen kind of vibe, like a few sets, and it's all I want to wear. So Holiday, if you're watching, these sets have this is a pants one, but the shorts one, they come in like so many cute different patterns, and it's like all I wanted to wear because I can wear like the drawstring pants below my belly, and then like these are open, so they're not like so tight, and like it's so fucking hot and sweaty, especially when you're pregnant, just like really hot and sweaty. But anyways, everyone's like, oh, you didn't look pregnant in your jumpsuit on your last live. That's because this way I'm gonna look normally how I look in this. The reason I said it's a different story is like, okay, there's my belly, y'all. Like, it's there. It's just that from the front, it's different, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god, there's so many bugs right now. Ew. Just don't want to get bit. But anyways, these are like so comfortable. So Holiday, if you're watching, I'm obsessed, and if you make these sets in like 100 other colors, I will take them, and I appreciate it. But yeah, they let my belly air out because it's like just so hot. So yeah, I love you all, and I really appreciate your positive messages. I'm just like taking my time with sharing my pregnancy, and you guys will see it when you see it. I'm getting cute stuff off. And my hair looks dark because I just showered, because it's always hot. But anyways, we're here for the V Magazine Gigi Journal Part 2. Another question I got is, where was Part 1? So Part 1 was in like 2017, I want to say. It was like a small, this is another one I got. Hold on, let me just write it down so I don't forget. It was a like about 15 page, maybe less, maybe like 10 to 15 page insert in an actual V Magazine issue. So like you would get a normal V Magazine issue, then inside you pulled it out, and it was an assortment of Polaroids that I took over Fashion Month. It was like, that's why it was called Gigi Journal originally, it was like a journal of photos and notes and like things that I took during Fashion Month of like people that I work with and that inspire me and who I love, and my friends and coworkers and stuff like that. And that was Part 1. So Part 2 became really different because the concept originally, so this is how it looks when it's out of the sun. You guys saw it earlier when it was in the sun. I'm gonna put it in the sun for 1 second so then you can see it again with the orangeness. The concept came to be because Part 2, I really wanted Part 2 to be, to involve artists that I found on social media, and we started talking about it kind of like mid last year, and it kind of at first was like, oh, maybe we'll do like more of like a normal like editorial kind of like story as the Gigi Journal, where maybe we would do like accessories and send different artists accessories that I've followed online for a long time, and then they kind of take that accessory and make it into a piece like that has to do with like their way of working. And then obviously by the time that it came around to start doing Gigi Journal Part 2, we were in the middle of quarantine, and I was like, what is gonna like, one, make sense like for this time, be relevant, be something that people like actually can connect to. Like, it just didn't really feel right to do like something that had to do with me really, or that had to do with like fashion even. And I also like realized that I wanted it to be more something that wasn't just like artists that I already follow that might already have a following. And it didn't necessarily have to do with like, I don't know, I wanted it to feel more like the world coming together to make something. Like, so many people that like don't know each other, and you know, like, I've never met these artists. These are even the ones that I follow, like that I wanted to include in the first place. Like, I never have met most of them. There's one artist that I know personally, Austin, who's a really good friend of mine, one of my best friends, and she is in it. So like 10 of them are artists that I already followed, that I was a huge fan of, that I felt like I wanted to be part of the journal. And then I think 27, I'll count at the end, but 27 of them are artists who hashtagged their art, their work on Instagram. It was 5 weeks that we did the artist search. So over that amount of time, people hashtagged their work. Then me and the V Magazine team went through them. I chose my favorite artists out of all of those, and then we contacted them, gave them the theme, started emailing back and forth. Some people kind of really like knew what they wanted to do with the concept, and like that was great. It was also amazing for the artists that like gave me ideas, and we can go back and forth, and like it was more of a conversation and like a creative direction experience for how they were going to take on the concept. So the concept was Quarantine, as it's titled, but that includes either the artist's experience in quarantine or honoring essential workers. So those were the things that they could choose from. And then like over time they sent stuff back and forth, their process, and then their final images were sent in. The questionnaires, which I'll show you, are really fun. We told them that we wanted, obviously, like it to be an extension of their work. So this is it, like when it's half in sunlight. That's what's cool, is like it appears. So front cover. Then it's gonna open to, oh yeah, another thing. I'll say that at the end. So opens to my editor's letter. See here. It just talks about the process, how we chose people, then like the Black Lives Matter movement having kind of this like big resurgence during quarantine, and how I felt that going to print with this journal, because we started, like the artists started their pieces weeks before you know, all of like the protesting and everything started. So even if they had wanted to have their pieces have something to do with the Black Lives Matter movement, it was like we were going to print. So I wanted to give space for Black American artists to comment on that if they wanted, but also like their experience obviously is valuable regardless if it has to do with the movement or not, or with the protesting or not. Like, sorry, my mom called. I think it paused. Mommy, if you're watching, you can't call me during a live, girl. What was I saying? Pregnancy brain, it's real. So not only did I want to give time for that, but also I wanted it to reflect voices, Black voices that could use pages for whatever they deemed necessary, and so and also a percentage of the proceeds will go to these 4 organizations: Black Lives Matter, NAACP, ACLU, and Campaign Zero. It explains what their missions are. And I also will be matching in donation everything that is raised from the sales. I'll be matching it in donation to those charities. So the first 2 spreads of the journal are from amazing Black American voices, leaders, creatives. I will introduce them now. This one is by Cleo Wade and DeRay McKesson, and the words are by DeRay, and then Cleo did the art in her really powerful piece on this experience that she had. I believe it's a real experience, so correct me if I'm wrong, where she overheard this guy's friend saying black girls don't bleed when they lose their virginity, their bodies are just different. And so this piece is based on that, and kind of, I think, has to do with, like, it ends with I'm one of the lucky ones, because she realized that her body bleeding from losing her virginity was not the last time that she would feel invalidated for being black, but it would be the most bloody, and therefore she is lucky. Which is just, like, when I read it, I was like, oh, damn. So anyways, again, I'm not going to read you the actual full poems, because you just need to read them yourself. And listen to these people and follow these people and, like, learn from them, because they're just amazing. And Nicole Counts is a writer. She's the senior editor at One World, and she wrote a beautiful story. It's a story, and it's a story about a dream, I believe, that she also really had. And it's really, it's longer than a poem. It's a story, and it's beautiful. And anyways, all these written pieces that it starts with are just, like, really amazing. Also mostly women. Love. And you should take the time to read them before you start this journal. So then we go into the artists, and they're from all over the world. What's really amazing about this journal is that really, like, and the reason we did the advertising, like, videos with that map that, like, turned and it, like, zoomed into the different cities is, like, I wanted to show really that, like, we're sending you this journal, this book, this coffee table book that I know is $55, but, like, it's not a magazine. Like, it's a book. Like, it's gonna sit on your table, and this is, like, so much hard work from artists from all over the world that really, like, put hours and hours into these pieces. And this is a 60, how many pages? It's like almost 67 pages. So yeah, like, it's $55, but it's less than $1 per page, and, like, you're getting art from amazing people. And yeah, it's really something that we are sending as a keepsake of this time, a timestamp, a time capsule of this time, like, that you can have on your table and know that, like, it's sitting in your living room with love from our living rooms where we worked on it to yours. So yeah, I hope you guys love it, and we will start with, it starts with Bridget Hoffman, who's 28 years old. She's from Miami. She lives in Germany, I believe. And I love her piece because it's like how she felt. It's how she felt in the beginning of quarantine, where she felt like she couldn't sanitize enough spaces at once, at the same time, you know? And I feel, and that's what, like, I want you guys to flip through this journal and feel like you can relate to at least one piece in here, because they're, like, some of them are hilarious. Like, this is so funny. She just felt like she didn't have enough arms, legs, masks, sanitizers. We all felt that, like, we're going through the grocery store, like, oh, there's no more, like, hand wash sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, anything. Like, you're starting to get really creative with, like, the stuff you have. Like, oh, I'll just use, like, baby. What was weird, something that happened during quarantine is, like, all the hand soap was gone, but, like, the child hand soap wasn't gone, as if, like, the child hand soap isn't soap. Like, I was fine with buying the child hand soap. I don't know, just funny things. So what's great about when you open these pages is that you'll get a questionnaire for each artist. Like, this is their art piece, and this is their questionnaire that has the same questions, but they all decorated them and answered them really differently. And yeah, it's very fun. This is by Shantae, and Shantae did this beautiful piece on wood. It's a painting. I love it. And, you know, they explain their piece. Shantae said, I wanted to honor our essential workers and our marginalized communities. I decided to paint and an old friend representing our local farmers. So she's from Santa Barbara, California, my original hometown where I lived till before high school, and I'm really proud to have her in the book. She was someone that we also found through the artist submission process on social media, and I just think her piece is so beautiful. But you can read about, like, the questions go from, you know, it has their hometowns. Shantae was born in Maui, raised in Santa Barbara. So these members are from Santa Barbara, these community members, so beautiful. And it says their current locations, what materials they used, when their pieces were started and completed, explaining their piece, what they learned, like how their creative process changed during quarantine, when they first learned their craft, how they've grown creatively during quarantine, what keepsakes they had around. So it kind of, like, goes through their creative process during quarantine. This is Katerina, who goes by Kate. She's an embroidery artist, which is just insane to me. Like, I love. And she obviously embroidered this beautiful girl with a mask on, to explain that obviously we are using the mask for the betterment of others and for a worldwide safety effort. Her piece is titled The Flowering of the Soul. She's from the Ukraine and now lives in Russia. This is one of my favorites. They're all one of my favorites. Like, it's really hard, but Adrian's really, I feel like, has such movement. So beautiful. It's called Racing for Freedom. It's so amazing. This is by Adrian Brandon. And, yeah, like I said, you can find all their tags on my The Magazine post. I'll also put them on my first one. This is Tetsuya Tanaka, who is a miniature artist. He's not miniature. The things he uses is miniature. And I've been following him for a long time, like, and when I always say, like, oh, people are like, who do you follow on Instagram? Like, all these, like, random creatives. Like, that's what I like to fill my feed with, because it just like gives me, I feel like, an escape from the normal feed. And I feel like I don't know, creativity is what, like, when I'm like at work and stressed out and like in my head, I think about like on my days off, like what can I do creatively that will like get me back like centered and feeling like peaceful and calm, and like it's how I rejuvenate myself, like doing random creative things. And following creatives like this is like, you know, yeah, it gets me through like stressful days at work, and it makes me be like, okay, when I get a day off, I'm gonna do something. Not that I've ever attempted like as good as Tatsuya, Mr. Tanaka, but this is insane. This is what he did, you guys. Like, it's a mask that he made into a swimming pool. Like, hello. And I just love him. Again, you can see all of their handles in here. Tanaka Tatsuya. Every day he takes something that like we just see every day. You know what I mean? Like, we just see it normally, and then he turns it into a wonderland that you're just like, wow. How does his brain do that? And I always wonder, Mr. Tanaka, if you're watching,